listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is The Announcer's Table interview day on Wednesday.
Yes.
So, what we got going on today, Daryl?
Well, later on today, I figured we'd go to the store, do some shopping, pick us a... Oh, you mean now?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, right now we're doing interviews.
Yes, we are.
So...
Who we got?
We have on a wrestler I'm excited to have on, you're excited to have on.
Yeah.
One
of my trainers.
Yeah, well, I managed him and his tag team partner for a short bit. So I'm a little excited about this one. You can, if you go to Ring Icon, our YouTube page, you can see some interviews that we've done with him. One when I was managing them for a little while.
Yeah.
So, Seth Cruise.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here. Good.
Well, we're definitely happy to have you on.
Absolutely. So. I was shocked when you're like, hey, I'd like to do one of those interviews. I was like, all right, man, I'm really down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it was a good time to do one.
Yeah. Well, we want the fans of the show to get to know you a little better, and you'll be able to talk about some of the stuff you've done and some of the stuff coming up. So, how long have you been in the wrestling business?
12 years. It's 12 years, a dozen years. I made it. At this age, I feel every bit.
I understand that. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now, who were you trained by?
Well, the two original men I trained under was the Freak, Terry Dean Christian, and C.C. Devlin. And they ran a school out in Cartersville back in the summer of 2001. And me and Michael Cross and a few other guys went through that training school. It was the hottest summer, I think, on record. The place we trained at had no ventilation, no air conditioning. It was rough.
I bet.
But yeah, those are the guys. Those are the men that trained me.
Yeah.
Now, we've done an interview with Michael Cross and C.C. Devlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard C.C.'s. I didn't get to hear Cross, but I don't think I ever found it. But I'm sure it was interesting.
Yeah, anything with Cross is always interesting.
Absolutely. So. Now,
Yeah.
Well, how long have you two been working together? Ever since training one?
Well, I met him in third. If we're talking about Cross, I met him in third grade, and we've been very very good close friends ever since. And yeah, we trained together. We came through the business together. We were pretty much married to each other the first couple of years. We were either wrestling against each other or tagging with each other every time we went to for years, really. And every now and again, we still end up with each other at the same place. It's kind of like a first marriage in a way.
Well, I know you and Cross are actually really well known around North Georgia. And a little fact that some people may not know, I said this in a Michael Cross interview, is you and Michael Cross have actually held more tag team titles than the Dudley Boys, who have held the most as far as professional wrestling goes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I remember Cross and I was talking about it, and he was like naming this. And I'm like, holy cow. So that was a pretty interesting fact.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he can keep up with that, because a lot of times he can't keep up with anything, so I'm surprised he remembers all the time. We won't walk up. I couldn't keep up with him. I'm glad he can.
Now, what all shows are you wrestling at right now?
Well, the only one I've got, even coming up lately, I've done this one we got coming up November the 8th in Chatsworth, the Outlaw reunion show we got coming up in Chatsworth.
Okay.
That's really the only one I got planned coming up. I don't have any other bookings going right now. I was doing we had a show going here in Cartersville, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Right.
But otherwise, I haven't really been busy this year. It's probably been the slowest year I've ever had as far as taking bookings. But
yeah.
With 3 kids and a lot going on in my personal life, that's just kind of the way it's going this year. That's all right though.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to this next one we got going up.
Okay. All right, well, right now we're going to go into the 10 questions we ask all guests, and then we'll go more into the promotion that you're talking about after we do the 10 questions. I'll start it off. What is your favorite gimmick match?
Well, I think the one I like is just the cage match because it's really the one I think is the easiest to draw money at. You can actually build up for it, and you know, you build up that match, and then finally you put them in a cage. And I think it's the only one I don't really like these new ones they've come up with. I know WWE does a lot of them in TNA, but I think the cage match is the one that really, you know, really draws money still today, and I think it always will.
Yeah.
So that's really my favorite one. I don't like, especially these days. Well, I see some shows I go to and they have every match is a cage match. I can't understand the logic behind that. But I think when it's done right, a cage match is great. It always draws money, and it always goes off well for the most part. As long as you got good talent in the ring,
Yeah.
a cage match should always work.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you could wrestle anybody, living or dead, who would you want that to be?
Oh Lord. I think
Ian
that
Carson.
Probably Randy.
No.
It was probably Randy Savage. Probably he was one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah.
Alive, I'd probably say David Young. I had like a list. I had guys I watched growing up, like live, like in local, you know, independent shows. And I think I've got it down pretty good. I've wrestled just about every one, but I think David Young is number one on the list, and I think there's a couple others, Joel Beaton and Lee Thomas. There's a few I hadn't got around to working at, but yeah, he's number one. I would say on my list of guys I'd still like to get in the ring with, you know, local guys around here.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think he's doing much anymore, so maybe one day it'll happen.
Yeah.
All right, now, who is your favorite wrestler?
Oh Lord, that changes about every couple of weeks. You know, a guy I really watched lately, I've just got a whole new admiration for is Terry Funk. I think he is just, I don't think people know a lot about what he was like when he was younger. He was, you know, he held the NWA World Heavyweight title at one time. He was a very technically sound wrestler. I don't think a lot of people know that. But he also can do just about anything else. I mean, he was really, you know, when he was in ECW, he did hardcore, and he was very good at it.
Oh yeah.
He can brawl. He can just do it. I'm just really amazed. I've looked at his YouTube videos lately. I've kind of keyed in on him. There's nothing he's not good at. He's just great at everything.
Yeah.
He can talk. He can draw money. He's just awesome. He's kind of caught my eye lately. So he's been my favorite lately. But you know, that question can kind of change by the day, by the week, by the month.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, do you have a favorite wrestling moment, either of your own or in the pros?
Wrestling. Did you say a moment?
Yeah, like a favorite wrestling moment, either of your own or of a pro period or something like that.
Well, I remember one time in Shrine, we were wrestling Hardcore Productions. I think it was me and Cross. I don't remember which combination, but we were wrestling them, and I remember we won the titles that night. And I mean, there couldn't have been maybe 50 people in the building there, that little building they had down there in Shrine. Well, there was many shows in Shrine, but there was one that was kind of a small building. And I mean, you'd have thought 50,000 people were there. There's just the reaction that got off of it. And I actually couldn't hear that good for the next couple of days. It was just that great of a reaction that we got up. But I actually still remember the finish was I think John Arden shot me in. He went for the big splash in the corner. I moved, and I kind of did the little schoolboy roll up, you know, to get the quick roll up on him, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I just remember the crowd just went absolutely. I don't know. One of y'all might have been there. I don't know, but I just remember it was just an unbelievable reaction. I've never had one bigger than that. It was just. I've had some decent reactions, but that one was just really.
Yeah.
It was something special.
Yeah. Well,
All right, what is your most embarrassing wrestling moment?
Well, there's been some. I remember once I was wrestling under a mask in Rome, and I was wrestling a guy by the name of Nick Rampage. He's a very good wrestler. But we had a match. He went to, you know, with the mask was over, he beat me under the mask when I was wrestling under this mask. He went to throw me out of the ring, and the mask actually came off as he was throwing me out. I just had to, you know, bury my head in my hands. Just kind of. Thank goodness for the security and the referees there. They kind of got me out of there. I don't know if anybody saw the mask come off and saw if it was me or not. But it was just that was that was embarrassing.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Well, do you have a favorite finisher or a favorite wrestling move that you like to do?
Well, I'm not much of a finish guy because I'm not very, y'all seen my size. I'm not very big. I'm not very, I'm not a huge guy. So I don't really like, use really a finisher. I just really like really quick roll-ups is what I really like small packages, schoolboys, inside cradles. I mean, just any of that stuff is always, that's usually what I always use for a finish. I just always try to catch a guy off coming off something, some sort of cradle or some sort of roll-up I can always use. That's always what's worked for me the best.
Yeah, you're really good at technical wrestling. I mean, that's really your background.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah, I did. I had an amateur background. I had a pretty decent amateur background, but the people say, why don't you do high flying or anything? Well, I'm just not very good at it. In wrestling, I think you should just do what you're good at, what you know. Yeah. And that's what I know.
Yeah, and that's what you're good at. So stick with it, But.
Yeah. Thanks.
Now, who is your favorite champion of all time? And it doesn't have to be a heavyweight champion. It can be any champion, pro, independent, and you cannot say yourself.
Oh God, that's really hard because there's been so many good ones, but I really I think I know Flair is kind of the obvious choice. A lot of people probably go with, and I ain't deserving of it, but any of those guys that held the NWA title. Back then you had to travel all over the world and draw money everywhere, and guys like Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk and Lou Thesz. Those guys. I don't really take the champions these days. Nobody. They hold the belt and they drop it.
Yeah.
Sometimes days later. It's just not really that. But I guess I really like Harley Race as a champion. I always thought he made a really good champion. He was he was mostly a heel, very tough guy. Made it. People believed in him. He was probably my favorite. I always like. I know he was probably champion early before I was born, but I've seen what he's done, and it just and you hear people talk about him, just how really how believable he was and how really of a tough guy he was. And he's kind of my favorite. I really like the NWA champions at that time. Harley Race is my favorite.
Cool. Well, could you name anybody that you consider underrated or overrated?
You talking about independent or just?
Hey, in general, if you know somebody independent or in the pros.
One guy that you always get these things. People say who's the best wrestler around Georgia, and one name that I never hear of, and I think they should, is a guy by the name of Frankie Valentine. I don't know if y'all know who he is. I've wrestled him many times.
I've heard the name. I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of a smaller guy. He's maybe a little smaller than me, but man, can he wrestle? I never hear his name come up on me. He's like, end of the year wrestler of the year, technical wrestler of the year. And but gosh, he's such a very good wrestler. He's one of those guys. He can pretty much do it all. He's a very good technical wrestler. He can move around the ring very well. He's be tough, and you don't hear his name a lot, and I never wonder why, because I've been in the ring with him. He's very, very good.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to check him out and maybe get him on for an interview or something.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
I think he'd be good. I think he was he's very, very. I don't know what he's doing lately. I think he does a lot of stuff out of Carrollton with the IW. Oh God, I don't know. I think he works for him, but I can't think of the name of it. The one for sure coming out of Carrollton, I think mostly. But then I think Cross is even kind of underrated. I think I'm not just saying that because he's my buddy. But I just think.
Yeah, I think you're pretty biased on that. No, I'm just.
Yeah, he's he could wrestle any type of style. He's very good. He's you don't hear his name a lot. Maybe because he kind of stays local, but he's very good. I've been in every type of match you could be with him. He's overrated. I don't really want to say any independent guys are overrated. Because I don't mean, if they ain't making a living, I don't really say they can be overrated.
Yeah.
But the big guys, I don't know, because there's some guys I don't really like per se, but I ain't gonna say they're overrated because if they're with Vince McMahon, and they're obviously drawing money, so I can't say they're overrated.
Yeah, we know what you're saying. We definitely know what you mean there. So.
But Jeff Hardy kind of. I just don't see the big deal with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I could see it definitely. I really enjoyed him during the Attitude Era, but nowadays I do think he's a little overrated, especially with TNA. I think they push him a little too hard for what they're getting.
I haven't watched TNA in a long time, and I'm not always sleep over that.
Yeah, don't waste your TV hours.
but I do like it. But I do think Matt Hardy was a very, very good work. Still is, probably. I'm sure. Jeff just did all those, and I understand why they use him because for young kids and the girls like him, but he just didn't. I never enjoyed his matches very much.
Yeah. That's
but he draws money, so I can't say he's overrated. I would want him.
All right, now, who is your favorite tag team or stable?
Oh boy. There was one a group out of White, Georgia, that ran back in the late '90s called Team Extreme, which was I think it was originally, I believe, Air Paris and Terry Lawler, I believe, was the original one. Then it ended up, it's kind of like HCP. Everybody and their mom was in it now, but but they was, I think, and I remember being a teenager, watching it. They were just really just guys that kind of, sort of like it was sort of going on at the same time the NWO was, but they were really just like kind of an unbeatable bunch. They were there for a while. I think eventually David Young and Lee Thomas joined. I think I remember they did a big angle with the centerfold, which was really great. And I just remember being a young teenager watching that. They really just it was a great group there.
Yeah. Well, do you have a favorite catchphrase that you say or even heard?
I don't think I've never used a catchphrase, unless I was just making fun of somebody else's catchphrase, like I think of course The Rock's got a million of them. I really like that one The Rock has. It says "Know Your Role." I think I just got it's because I think you could use it in the wrestling business. Know your role. And you got to know your role. You got to know who you are and where what you're good at, what you're not good at. So I just kind of I never knew I was never going to be 6'5" and being pushed to be main event guy. So I knew my role. I knew where I was. I just tried to do my best wherever I could, and whether that was first match or last match, I just tried to get the best match you could. So that's one I really adopted, the one The Rock used, know your role. Yeah. Not really as a promo, because thankfully I had a lot of good managers like your co-host there and Jackie Rosedale and Gentleman Dave and a few others I've had that I didn't really have to talk a whole lot. I know talking ain't one of my. I can talk. I can cut a promo. It just probably ain't gonna be the greatest thing in the world, but it was always great to have good managers around to really help, and tag team partners. Mike Cross and Mark Phillips. They were always kind of it helped me out a lot because I never really didn't have any catchphrases or anything like that. I just knew my role, watched and did wrestled and did the best. I know I kind of got a little off subject there, but I just kind of had to go there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, that wraps up the 10 questions that we ask all our guests to kind of get to know your style and your flavor for wrestling. Right now, what we want to talk about is that show that you're wanting to promote, the Outlaw Show. So tell us a little more information about that and how it came about.
Well, I think that came about just a lot of people have been asking me and other guys the promotion that ran back in 2001, I think late 2002. We ran it kind of out of Cartersville, Georgia, at first, and then the show moved to Ranger, Georgia, for about a year. People it shut down in late 2002. They didn't run any more shows, but people just ask me and other guys associated with that show, hey, when y'all ever gonna do a reunion? Nobody, I don't know, maybe one day, but and I think finally, a few people have got in talks with folks that are RCW at Chatsworth, and they just agreed to let us use their building for a night, and so we're gonna try to do it. It's November the 8th, 8 o'clock, at the RCW building, which the address is 806 North 2nd Avenue in Chatsworth. I don't know the zip code for Chatsworth, but that's where the address is going to be at 8 o'clock, November the 8th.
Okay, cool.
And, it's just going to be a big reunion that we've, a lot of guys I haven't seen in a while, and they've we got five really good matches signed up right now, and probably some more surprises be added to it later. But and also on Facebook, I believe that the Facebook page is called Outlaw Pride Reunion. So if anybody wants to go on Facebook and look it up there, they always got to keep it updated on the new matches and guys that are going to be there. It should be a great night. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to try to make it up there. And we're gonna
absolutely.
See what we can do.
And I was talking to Cross about it, and he was like, "Man, I hope y'all can make it out." So I know we're going to try to go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think right now we've got right now signed is I'm going to be wrestling up against one of my old trainers, CC Devlin. And then I think Simon Sermon is going to be wrestling up against Nemesis. That's kind of an old rivalry that's renewing. They got a three-way dance with Terry Lawler against Frenchie Riviera and against Michael Cross. So they're going to have to reinforce the ring on that one. That's a lot of big boys there.
Yeah.
And I think right now, Hardcore Productions, John Arden and Mark Payne are going to reunite. And they're going to go up against Pretty Boy Floyd and Scott Frater.
Oh, wow.
And,
We've got a whole who's who of, wrestling.
North Georgia, yeah.
I mean, holy
cow.
Yeah,
a lot of good wrestlers are going to be there. It should be a great night.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Seth, we want to thank you for being on the show.
Definitely.
If you want to tag the flyer on our wall, that way we can make sure we share it with people.
Yeah.
And and hopefully we're going to try our best to be at the show, so hopefully we'll see you at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there. That'd be great to see you out there. And anybody, really.
Yeah, of course. So.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. We'll do this again sometime later.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
See you.
Thanks, Seth.
Well, that was Seth Cruise. They got that show coming up on November 8th, I believe it is.
Yeah.
It's the Outlaw Reunion show.
A lot of people we know.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people we,
If you live in Georgia, or specifically North Georgia, and you're a fan of independent wrestling, you know just about every name he just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize my computer died off there. But so go check it out and see it, and hopefully we'll see you there.
So that was Seth Cruise. We want to thank him for coming on.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a mentor to me when I started wrestling. When I came into the business, him and it was Scott the Man Prater that trained me, but that came in to help with Seth Cruise and Michael Cross and a lot of other guys. So I appreciate them helping me grow in my career of wrestling and my love for indie wrestling. So but that's about it for interview this week. So check out our videos for Promotion Builder and Gimmick Builder this week, which we talked about sponsors for Promotion Builder, and this week wasn't actually a Gimmick Builder, it was actually a Ref Builder. So,
yep.
And then you'll be able to check out this Friday is our review on the WWE Battleground pay-per-view. So, let you know how that goes.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Until then, check you later.